As soon as we're done, we're gonna check the boat. The boat's ready. You guys are gonna start loading your rods and reel, guys. So if you catch a fish you want a photo of, make sure you ask for Tammy's digital camera or that GoPro, okay, guys? We're obviously gonna make sure we get some good footage for the for the photographer. That will be edited together and put on YouTube in a video. But he's not taking photos, okay, guys? So if you catch a big fish, he's gonna film the fight, film you guys afterwards. But then you'll need to snap a photo with Tammy or the GoPro if you want to get a photo, okay, guys? All right, we're here getting ready for another 39-hour trip here at Hubbard's Marina for these red snapper. We've got a long season this year, and it's a long, hot grind after these red snapper, but we're catching a lot of gag grouper, scamp grouper, red grouper mixed in, lots of big mangroves right now, yellowtails. We've got vermilions, porgies, almacos, tons of fish are coming in right now, and we're having some really great trips with plentiful red snapper. So we've got a few more of these left this year. We've got 12-hour extremes, 39 hours and 44 hours targeting these red snapper, and we're going after them again today on this trip. And Captain Brian has been having consistent catches of boat limits of red snapper, and we're looking to go do it again today. And hopefully a lot of those big mangrove snapper. And the gag grouper bite's going pretty good right now, which typically in the summertime we don't catch a lot of them, but because we're fishing so much deeper with these red snapper, we're actually having a pretty good run of luck at catching some nice big gag grouper mixed in. So far this season, our big gag is over 36 pounds. Our big red snapper's over 24 pounds. We've got one big scamp that was over 16 pounds. It's been a really good few weeks here of the start of season. We still got about 5 or 6 more weeks left, and we're looking to top those records and keep it going. And definitely looks to be a little bumpy on this trip, but not bad overall. We're on the front side of a new moon, so we might be dealing with some current. Hopefully we'll be able to avoid that, because we fish deeper with these red snapper, and that current can definitely be a little bit more of a challenge in that deeper water. So we're hoping the current won't affect this trip. We're hoping that new moon will concentrate the bite really well for us during the day. Might be a little slower night bite. Typically around those new moons, the night bite gets a little softer, while the day bite increases, and vice versa is true on a full moon. A lot of times the night bite's a lot better, while the day bite can be a little bit softer. But we're a few days ahead of that new moon, so we're hoping that won't affect our night bite too much, but only one way to find out. Go out there and try it. Let's go see how we do.
All right, we're on our first spot here. It's about 12:30 in the morning, and fishing for mangrove snappers and gag grouper here throughout the night. We'll probably get a few red snapper as well, but we'll mainly be targeting those in the daytime. So we'll see how we do tonight. Alright, this is our next spot we're at here, guys. We're fishing about 200 feet of water. This is a shipwreck, and we're after red snapper and other kinds of snapper as well, maybe a big grouper.
Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here. We just got back in from this 39-hour trip, and it was another great trip. Unfortunately, had to deal with some weather, which made things a little tricky. Had some definite kind of almost tropical weather settle in on the trip. It was more forecasted over land. Unfortunately, forecast changed, and a lot of that weather ended up over the Gulf. So we dealt with a lot of energy in the Gulf, a lot of moving squall lines, which makes it very difficult on us as captains to make sure that we're sticking to the same anchor heading. These storms are around, it causes that anchor heading to shift a lot. So it makes it really difficult in the wheelhouse to make sure the boat's staying on top of the spot. Makes it difficult on anglers getting soaking wet when those occasional storms do come up. We do have a radar system. We try our best to try to avoid those storms in the best manner possible, but sometimes they are unavoidable, as you could see from this trip. But ended up putting together a nice catch of fish, just had to grind through it a little bit. It was more of a kind of slow, steady bite, which isn't always the best. We like to have a hot, all-out catching trip, but if you put it together and you worked really hard at it, you ended up catching a nice stringer of fish. A lot of people are limited out on their red snapper. We got some guys who caught a nice stringer of mangroves close to a limit. We got some really nice gag grouper, red grouper, scamps, and more. So overall, it was a good trip. It just was a little bit slower of a bite than we would have liked, and definitely dealt with more weather than we would have liked. But hey, Captain Brian and the boys put it together and put a hurting on these things. So we're ready to go out and do it again today. We got a lot of trips left with some availability here during this red snapper season. We've had a lot of last minute cancellations. Today's trip, for example, has 5 open spots on it due to last minute cancellations. So great opportunity to get out here and catch plenty of good eating fish. And even on the backside of red snapper, we got a lot of good fish to go catch. We got gag grouper through the end of the year. Red grouper should last us another month or 2. We've got mangrove snapper, yellowtail snapper, almacos, vermilions, porgies. We got all those pelagics. Great time to get out in the water. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.